History lost, decks past, but in this series, we revisit older decks to see if they can be brought back to the forefront of the meta. We'll break down what made these decks great, what no longer holds up, and how modern builds can give them new life. By exploring different variants and tech choices, we'll tune each deck to fit different playstyles. Let's see if these classics still have what it takes for meta teching. What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and we're back again with another episode of Meta Teching. Today, we're taking a look at Toons. This deck will be coming out in November, September, I think. Basically, it should be coming out in the next few sets, and it is a known meta threat, taking tier 0 in OCG, as you guys have seen. This is due to a card called Mind Scan, where you basically get to see your opponent's entire hand while this card is up. This card is insane for the actual archetype, turning Toons into more of a meta threat, as we don't really utilize or usually see anime themed decks take a tier 0 stance, let alone be this powerful in general. Today, I want to take a look at a few of these and bring you guys the opportunity to actually see what some of these deck builds could be. That way you can be further prepared when you come across them in the near future. While this deck is very fun and has a lot of good capability, please do note that if you are a Toon fan, I am not trying to make any kind of meta stance here or say that Toons are bad. This is just something I want to bring to you guys because I want to address something in the room. While a lot of the decks I bring to you are usually older decks or something that's just been fresh released, this deck as a whole has a lot of good capability for the future. Being able to see that anime decks are growing and getting the further support they need to push them to that next level. This is the perfect example of what we're seeing now, where Toons are taking to the front and being a meta push for the top tier. Anyways, guys, I've been blabbering on enough. Let's go ahead and hop right into our main deck. So, for the pure deck of the first Toon deck, we're going to be playing a bunch of actual Toon cards. One being Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned from your hand by attributing two monsters while you control Toon World. Cannot attack the turn it is special summon. You must pay 500 life points to declare an attack with this monster. If Toon World on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. Can attack your opponent directly unless they control a Toon monster, in which this card must target a Toon monster for its attacks. Then, of course, we have 3 Comet Cat. While this card is treated as a Toon monster while Toon World is on the field. During the main phase, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster. If you control Toon World, you contribute 1 monster opponent controls even though you do not control it. If you do, special summon 1 monster that mentions Toon World from your hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. You can only use this effect of Comet Cat once per turn, basically turning it into the full board capability of let me just steal the monster from your side of the field, send to the graveyard, and summon my own comic version. Basically kind of like how Pegasus did in the anime with Kaiba's Blue Eyes. Up next, of course, we're playing the 1 Dark Eyes Illusionist Faceless Mage. If this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. You can discard this card, then activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Dark Eyes Illusionist Faceless Mage once per turn. Place 1 Mind Scan from your hand or deck face up on the field. Add 1 other monster from your graveyard to your hand that mentions Toon World, then you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, giving you the further capability of being able to place Mind Scan directly from your deck onto the field, which can really become a problem. Then, of course, we're playing the 1 Evil Box. If you control Toon World, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can add to your hand or set 1 Toon Trap from your deck. You can only use this effect of Evil Box once per turn. While this card is treated as a Toon monster while Toon World is on the field, once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 card in either graveyard placed on the bottom of the deck. So basically giving you recursion capability, but also interfering with your opponent's graveyard, which can be a bit more problematic. Then, of course, we're playing 3 Funny Dark Rabbit. After this card is normal or special summon, you can normal summon 1 monster that mentions Toon World during your main phase this turn, in addition to its normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. This card is treated as a Toon monster while Toon World is on the field. Once per turn, you can add to your hand or place face up on your field 1 Toon field or continuous spell from your deck. So giving you the further capability to set up a lot of good plays. But we're not done yet with the Toons, because we're looking at 3 Toon Bookmark. You can add 1 Toon World or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand except Toon Bookmark. If a Toon World or worlds you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate 1 Toon Bookmark once per turn. Followed up by Toon Table of Contents, allowing you to add 1 Toon card from your deck to your hand. Giving you further capability to get into Toon World, the Perfect World. While this card's name becomes Toon World while in the field zone. Once per turn, you can add 1 Toon card or 1 card that mentions a Toon's card name from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Toon World, the Perfect World thrice per turn. Before resolving another activated card effect, you can banish 1 Toon monster you control until immediately after that card effect resolves. Also, you cannot banish monsters with that same original name with this effect of Toon World, the Perfect World for the rest of this turn. So basically giving it a more of a very beneficial field spell that can really hurt your opponent a lot more than you would expect. Following that up, we're also playing the 1 Mind Scan. While you have a Toon card in your field or graveyard, your opponent must keep their hand revealed. Also, you can look at their set cards at any time. If you have a Toon monster and a Toon spell in your field or graveyard, and you can declare 1 card name that is not among the card's effects activated in this chain. Negate the activated effects of cards with that original name until the end of this turn. While this card is face up on the field, you can only use this effect of Mind Scan once per turn. This card is insanely broken, giving you the capability to see your opponent's hand and their back row can further hinder your own playability and surprises that you have for your opponent. Your opponent can basically just look at your actual board and determine, okay, how do I play around this? Well, they have, say, Mirror Force in the back row. I'll just pop that with another card, or I'll play around it utilizing this. You do have so many more capability here, or capabilities in general, utilizing Mind Scan, which can become problematic the farther the game goes on. The others that we're playing are 2 Toon Briefcase. When your opponent summons a monster or monsters while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster into the deck, further basically turning into a summon negation, but it's not really negating the summon, it's just placing it back in the deck. Toon Terror. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control both Toon World and a Toon monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. You can only activate 1 Toon Terror per turn, basically giving an Omni Negate to the Toons to make them more fearsome. Following that up, we're playing a bunch of hand traps. I did put in the Solemns here because I know a lot of people do not have access to things such as Dominus Purge, Dominus Impulse, Dominus Spark. But if you do have the onboard capability, you would look into probably the Dominus Spark line, as a lot of these monsters are dark or light. The other thing that I would say here is Toon Gemini Elf. I am playing one of them because it is basically a hand rip for 1 if it attacks your opponent directly. Do note that this card can be supplemented for any other cards. Most people are playing Toon Mermaid. Just note that you can swap it however you see fit. Moving on to the extra deck. We're playing 3 Blue Eyes Toon Ultimate Dragon. 1 Blue Eyes Toon Dragon plus 2 or more Toon monsters. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by shuffling the above cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Your Toon monsters can attack directly. Once per turn, you can add 1 Toon card or 1 card that mentions a Toon card's name from your graveyard to your hand. During damage calculation, if your Toon monster is attacked, you can banish it until the end of the damage step, basically making it even more problematic than the actual ultimate Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in real life. While this card actually utilizes cards from your field, hand, or graveyard, it can give you a bit more recursion, but also give you the capability to get a Toon card or a card that mentions a Toon from your deck to your hand, which can help your combos and get you started a lot more. So being able to turn dead hands into viable plays instead of bricks can really help you out a lot. This is why we're playing the 1 Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, as it gives you a lot more capability to expand upon this. Moving in, of course, we're playing the generic Link package, which is SP Little Knight, Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Celine Queen of the Master of Magicians, 1 Access Code Talker, because you can link climb. We're playing 1 Degraris because this card really comes in very helpful if you need to draw into some more. But it also gives you the capability of skip the battle phase of your next turn. Also double the attack of 1 of your monsters you control until the end of this turn. Turn your Blue Eyes Toon Ultimate Dragon into an OTK if it is able to attack directly. So do note that it can be a bit problematic the farther you go into the game. The other cards that you have are Superstar Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis, Zeus, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Bestial Dispater, Dark Cerebrum, the Ursfil, and Exciton Knight. While you can go into Fiendsmith with Toons through Exciton Knight, I don't recommend it, as you do have a bit of complications there because the extra deck can be utilized, but it also sets you up for Droll plays, which Droll can really hurt this deck if you're not paying attention to it. But that's all that I really have for the actual main pure build. Let's go ahead and hop right into some other builds that you can see. So I wanted to take a look a little bit more into another competitive build that has been seeing a lot of success here for Toons, and it's basically the same ratios as you've seen, where it's the 3 Comic Cat, the 1 Dark Eyes Illusionist Faceless Mage, the 1 Evil Box, the 3 Funny Dark Rabbit, the 3 Toon Bookmark, 3 Toon Table of Contents, the 3 Toon World, the Perfect World, and the 1 Mind Scan, 2 Toon Briefcase, the 1 Toon Terror. The main thing that we're going to be looking at here real quick in the extra deck is something that is a bit more different, because we're going to be utilizing cards such as Charmer, Quartet, and Bloom to revive back Toons that gives us more capability to keep things live and rolling, but we also utilize cards such as Cross Sheet, Protect Code, Firewall Dragon to basically build our board. But we're also utilizing a new card called Perfectron High Drive Dragon. Whenever this card is actually on or available for us to utilize here in the TCG, this will go very hard in the deck because this card is link summon or at the end of the damage step. If this card battle destroys many monsters your opponent controls as possible, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each link monster in your graveyard. While face up on the field, this card is also a light, water, fire, and wind attribute, unaffected by the activated effects of monsters that share an attribute with this card. If this card with 1,000 or more attack would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can make its attack becomes reduced by 1,000 instead. So being able to really turn it into a powerhouse and problematic card, which makes it a lot harder for your opponent to really deal with. Now do note that utilizing Protect Code and Firewall, it makes it a lot harder for your opponent to really deal with things because your opponent cannot target link 4 or higher monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by battle. If you control a Firewall link monster quick effect, you can banish this link monster from your graveyard whose combined link ratings equal exactly 3. Special summon this card from the graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect to Protect Code Talker once per turn. Being able to utilize this with Firewall Dragon, you get more protection for your board state, but it also can lead into things that are more problematic, such as World Sea Dragons Atlantis. We're going to see a resurgence in this card, as basically it is a banish board and place whatever back in whatever position you would like, so getting around troublesome monster effects that can really hinder your plays. Atlantis was always a problem during Snake Eye format, as it was a really good generic link for it, and I think in Toons we may see it actually get banned because it just requires one effect monster. So you can go from Firewall directly into Atlantis and it become a very big problem. The other card that we're going to potentially see be more of a problem here is Zena's Deceiving Doll Maidens. You can also use one monster in your hand as material to link summon this card. You can only use each of the following effects of Zena's Deceiving Doll Maidens once per turn. This card is link summoned. You can send one monster from your deck to the graveyard, or if all materials used for its link summon were monsters you controlled, you can send one monster from your extra deck instead. During your standby phase or your next standby phase, after this card was sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one monster from your graveyard to your hand. It is just another way to get things into the graveyard to start your combos and start further plays and capabilities. Now, while you don't really have any spellcasters in the deck, well, outside of Droll, you really are going to be utilizing a lot of your main monsters here to go up in the line to further extend. So you're going to be utilizing this. So for example, Celine to get into your Dark to revive, or Celine to revive Dark, allowing you to go into a Link 5. You can go into your Link 4 place. It's basically just building up after one another to further your capability and board state to get you to a problematic board that your opponent cannot deal with. While this deck is very powerful, you do have to pay attention to the combo lines. Now, do note that if you're playing against Toons, some cards that might be very beneficial for you to pick up right now are, if I could type, is Typhoon. Target one face-up spell or trap on the field, destroy it. If your opponent controls 2 or more spells or traps and you control no spells or traps, you can activate this card from your hand. Basically, this can get Mind Scan off the board more effectively than you would expect. You can do the same thing with Cosmic Cyclone, where you pay 1,000, banish the card, and get it off the board. You don't want to see that card stick around as much as possible because it becomes more problematic, as I've stated, the farther the game goes on. Because the more your opponent has knowledge on what your back row is, what your hand is, it becomes an uphill battle from there. This is why we've seen K9 Noroi get banned. This is why we're more likely going to see Cool Tune Rotary go to 1. These cards are very problematic in this state where the decks and the actual game is built on the mystery, utilizing traps, setting up plays where your opponent doesn't know what to really expect. That's the real beauty of the game. The unexpected that gives into creativity. Anyways, that's all I got for the advanced format of this. Let's go ahead and hop into another version, which you guys may see and may like a little bit more than just the generic advanced versions. Another option that we have here, that as you guys are seeing right now, is Toon Ryziel. Ryziel allowing you to utilize a lot of the level 4s that this deck utilizes here through Funny Dark Rabbit, and giving you the further capability to go into rank 4 plays such as Eclipse Twins, Aggregator, through Ryziel Detonator, of course, and Duo Drive. You can basically get into your combo lines a lot simpler. Being able to utilize the Fallen and the Virtuous to send the Albion or the Ecclesia, you get additional pops. But with the Ryziels, for example, Ice Ryziel here, you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard. If summon this way, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except rank 4 Xyz monsters. You can only special summon Ice Ryziel once per turn. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon Ryziel monster from your deck, except Ice Ryziel. You can only use this effect of Ice Ryziel once per turn. Sword Ryziel. If you have a Ryziel monster in your field or graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon for the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except rank 4 Xyz monsters. You can only special summon Sword Ryziel once per turn this way. If this card has no more special summon, you can add 1 Light Pyro monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Sword Ryziel once per turn, giving us the access to X, where you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 Xyz monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. If summoned this way, you can you cannot special summon from the extra decks for the rest of the turn except rank 4 monsters. You can only special summon Ryziel once per turn this way. If this card is no more special summon and you control no other face-up monsters except level or rank 4 monsters, you can add 1 Fire Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of X Ryziel once per turn, giving us the capability to go into Node Ryziel, to where if you have an Xyz monster in your field or graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except rank 4 Xyz monsters. You can only special summon Node Ryziel once per turn this way. You can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, target 1 Ryziel monster in your graveyard, except Node Ryziel. Special summon in defense position, but negates effects. You can only use this effect of Node Ryziel once per turn. Basically turning your Funny Dark Rabbit into a combo piece, being able to allow you to go into Ryziel combo, as we don't really utilize our extra deck a lot. We basically utilize it if we're going into a further OTK play, or we're going to go ahead and set through our Toon play anyways, starting off instead of our Ryziel stuff. Ryziel gives us the full board capability of utilizing our extra deck a little bit more to go into more of a board breaker format, to where we can utilize Detonator to pop a card once per chain, but we also get the capability to force our opponent's monsters to lose 100 attack for each material Duo Drive has, and it's a searcher, which is very beneficial. Albertian gives us the capability to add a card from our deck to our hand, which is a level 4 monster. If we have 3 or more materials underneath of it, 4, we get to add a spell, so this can get us right into our Toon combo one way or another. The other cards that you're looking at is, of course, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, Eclipse Twins, which allows you to go into the Baguska and the Garrus, the Timeless. You have so many opportunities with this deck to see the further capability of the Ceiling Expand. Now, while I think this deck is really cool, it would take a very good pilot to understand the inner machinations of this deck and make sure that the plays are going off as intended. Because if you start off with the Ryziel combo and don't get into your Toons, You do have capability, but the ceiling isn't as high. It prevents you from really operating and utilizing the mind scan. And a lot of decks nowadays can get around just a single detonator. Now, if you can manage to get over that and get into the tune capability, preventing from, I don't know, seeing if your opponent has a lava golem. This makes it a lot easier for you to set up your board and makes it more problematic for your opponent to really deal with, because then they know that the secret's out. They have to think what monsters they're going to basically sack off here for further board capability, but it's also going to hinder them in the capability for them to know how to play. While this deck has a lot of good options, this is something I would expect for more of an advanced player to look at as we go further into the format. Anyways, that's all I got for the Toon Ryziel. Let's hop into our next and final deck list. All right. As you guys have seen, Azamina has been picking up from time to time, giving us the further capability of incorporating things such as Red Eyes Dragoon, utilizing Il Sylvia, and other cards among them as a further board capable or further board establishment option, to where you can utilize Diabell Star to set up your Azamina combo, but also allow you to go into your Dragoon plays as well. Through the Eye of Timaeus, you can go into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, utilizing Dark Magician of Destruction. Because we can summon Diabell Star, activate a spell, must be either Fusion Summon or Special Summon. During the turn, a spell card or effect is activated here for the Dark Magician of Destruction by banishing a level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster you control's material. I wonder what Diabell Star is. Oh yeah, a level 7 Dark Spellcaster, which you can special summon from your hand by sending one card from your hand or field to the graveyard. And then it allows you, if it's no more special summon, to set one Sinful Spoil spell or trap from your deck. During your opponent's turn, if this card is sent from its owner's hand or field to the graveyard, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard. If you do, special summon this card. So it gives you further capability with Dark Magician Destruction here to basically get you the access when this card is summoned to add one Dark Magician or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, such as Eye of Timaeus or Magician's Souls. Magician's Souls allowing you to send a Diabell Star to summon the Magician's Souls as further extension. But you can also use the Gaze of Timaeus as a way to set up another negation through Dark Magician of Destruction, because if you link it off or utilize it in any other form, you have the opportunity to build off of that. Now, a few other cards that I'm incorporating here are the 3 Wanted the Seeker Sinful Spoils, which gets us into our 3 Diabell Star. We're running the 1 Hallowed Azamina, the 1 Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Honestly, feel free to up this to 2. I've seen some decks played at 1, I've seen some played at 2. Seems like there's a good build in between there, as where Deception of the Sinful Spoils, you contribute 1 monster from your hand or field, add 1 Azamina card from your deck to your hand. If a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, and you control an Azamina monster, except during the damage step, you can make your opponent lose 1500 life points. If you do, gain 1500 life points. During the end phase, if this card is sent to the graveyard, because it was sent from the spell and trap zone this turn, while face up, you can set it. You can only use each effect of Deception of Sinful Spoils once per turn, giving us the access to Hallowed Azamina. Reveal 1 Azamina Fusion monster in your extra deck, and for every 4 levels it has, round down. Send 1 Sinful Spoils card from your hand or field to the graveyard. If face down, reveal it. The special summon that revealed monster. This is treated as a fusion summon. If this card is in the graveyard, you can target 1 Azamina monster you control or in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect of Hallowed Azamina once per turn. Once again, turning our Azamina Recliago into the capability of here, monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each Azamina monster you control. But that's the other thing, is if this card is fusion summoned, you can add 1 Azamina or Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand, getting us into the Wanted. If this card is the Stroke of Valor card effect, you can add 1 Sinful Spoils spell from your deck to your hand. So getting us into the Wanted, we can go into Hallowed, shuffle back the Recliago, adding back the Azamina Il Sylvia, or if we just have it, we can do further plays there, where Il Sylvia is just an Omni Negate anyways, because when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can attribute this card and negate the effect. And if this card is a Stroke of Valor card effect, you can add 1 Sinful Spoils trap from your deck to your hand. We're not playing any of the Sinful Spoils traps, as we don't really need them. But this deck has a lot of capability here in setting up negates. The other cards that you're looking at, which you can also play in the Ryziel build, is the number 69 Heraldry Crest, the number 69 Heraldry Crest Shatter Stream, and the number 69 Heraldry Crest Dark Matter Demolition. Being able to basically rank up into these is very essential because it gives you further board breaking and negation capability. Heraldry Crest. If this card is special summon, negate the effects of all other Xyz monsters currently on the field. You can target one other face-up Xyz monster on the field until the end phase. This card's name becomes that monster's original name. Also replace this effect with the monster's original effects. You can only use this effect on number 69 Heraldry Crest once per turn, allowing you to go into number 69 Heraldry Crest Shatter Stream. You can also Xyz summon this card using a monster whose original name is number 69 Heraldry Crest. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field or an opponent's monster declares an attack, quick effect, you can special summon one number 69 Heraldry Crest Dark Matter Demolition by using this face-up card you control as material to destroy that opponent's monster. This is treated as an Xyz summon. Transfer this card's materials. You can only use this effect on number 69 Heraldry Crest Shatter Stream once per turn. Getting us into the big boy himself, Dark Matter Demolition. 5 level 4 monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That monster's name becomes unknown. Then negate any unknown effects activated by your opponent. This card is insane as that is not an activated effect. It just straight up negates them, which is very helpful in my understanding of what I've seen from other players. So please do not quote me on that, but it does stop any unknown effects from being activated. And it's a really good card nonetheless. Because it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, makes it more of a problematic towers that your opponent has to deal with. Or pseudo towers, I should say. The other cards that I'm playing here as tech choices is Master of Chaos. This is another option you can go into instead of the Dark Magician, or excuse me, the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because you do have further options here. This card's fusion summon. You can target one light or dark monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You contribute one light and one dark monster, banish all monsters your opponent controls. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this each effect of Master Chaos once per turn. So basically turning it into a board banish instead of a board negate, which can further hurt you and your opponent nonetheless. But, well, not really hurt you, but hurt your opponent nonetheless. This card is very beneficial, as is a good way to go and seal out for game or just an OTK possibility. While this deck has probably the highest ceiling of them all, it does offer up a lot of good opportunity for you to further your plays and further your capability and understanding of the Azamina and Toon packages while giving you more of a diversified feel for the deck. Now, do note, while this video is a little bit shorter, due to the cards not being out at this time, I am unable to give a Genesis build of Toons for that. Toons unto themselves are going to be very fun for those that have always enjoyed Toons and are looking for a competitive deck. For those that are looking for a more leisurely and interesting, fun Toon deck, we do have those as well. I'm just not looking into building that version of the deck just yet. Will be in the future, but for right now, it's not on my radar. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope this gave you some retrospective into what to expect potentially with this deck as we go further into the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! And what we could see come out from this deck, really dependent on how the next ban list really rolls out and rolls into our view. We may see the Azamina package hit, we may see Ryziel's hit preemptively. There's a lot of good capability and a lot of unknowns, but I still wanted to bring these to you to at least get you the idea of what you could see in the future and even give you guys some ideas on how to build the deck to fit your best own version. Either way, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.